Princess Lyra stood on the high balcony of the imperial palace. The palace was built from smooth white stone that shone under the light of the two moons. Valor Prime's night sky was dark purple, and the twin moons hung like big silver coins above the city. Cool wind moved through her long silver hair. She wore a flowing robe of deep blue that caught the moonlight. Lyra was the princess of the Valori Empire. Her skin had a soft green glow, and her eyes were bright violet. She was tall and graceful, like all Valori. Today she had spoken to the full court. In a clear voice, she said again what she had said many times before. I will never wed. No male from our world or any other will bind me. My strength comes from freedom, not from marriage. The court had clapped politely. Some nobles looked happy. They thought her vow made her strong and pure. Others whispered that a princess should marry to make alliances. But Lyra did not care. She had seen her mother's life. Her mother was forced into a marriage for politics. It made her sad and quiet until she died young. Lyra promised herself she would never let that happen to her. Her father, Emperor Kale, stood nearby now. He was old, with deep lines on his face, and a crown of thin silver. Lyra, he said softly, the vow is yours to make, but the empire needs heirs one day. I will lead well without a husband, she answered. Rules and mind are enough. The emperor sighed but said no more. He went back inside. Lyra stayed alone, looking at the moons. She felt calm. This was her path. Far away, in another part of space, the human colony ship Endurance moved slowly through the stars. It was not a beautiful ship like Valori vessels. It was big, boxy, and covered in patches from old repairs. Humans had built it to last, not to look nice. Ryan worked in the engine room. He was 30 years old, with short brown hair and strong hands, always dirty from oil. He wore a gray jumpsuit with many pockets. Right now he fixed a power relay with a small tool. His friend Chris stood next to him, holding a light. Hand me the blue wire, Ryan said. Chris passed it. You think we'll get that bonus if we finish early? Maybe, Ryan laughed, but I'd rather fix things than sit in meetings. The ship's speaker came on. All senior crew to the bridge. Important message from command. Ryan wiped his hands. Guess break time is over. On the bridge, Captain Laura waited. She was short, with red hair tied back. She looked serious. A hologram floated in the air. It showed a Valori diplomat, tall and calm. The diplomat spoke. A group of rogue miners attacks our trade ships. They use fast raiders and hide in asteroid fields. Our forces cannot catch them. We ask for help from the Endurance. Humans are known for creative solutions. Laura nodded. We will help, but we need details. After the call ended, she turned to her crew. This is a joint mission, volunteers only. It could get rough. Ryan raised his hand first. I'm in. I like a challenge. Others joined too. Megan from Navigation and Jason from Security said yes. 2 days later, the Endurance docked at a neutral space station called Nexus Point. It was a big ring in space, full of shops and meeting rooms. Valori ships looked like long, elegant birds next to the human ship's rough shape. The teams met in a large room with a round table. Valori officers stood straight in white uniforms. Humans came in jumpsuits, some still with tool belts. Lyra entered last. She walked with perfect steps. Everyone stood when she came in. She sat at the head of the table. Her eyes went over the humans. When she saw Ryan, she paused for a second. He sat relaxed, arms crossed, a small smile on his face. The Valori commander spoke first. We have mapped the rogue fleet's last position. We will move in tight formation. Precision is key. Ryan leaned forward. With respect, tight formation makes easy targets. Those miners know how to dodge. We should spread out, use the rocks for cover. Lyra looked at him. Humans think chaos is strategy? Ryan met her eyes. Chaos with a plan beats perfect order that fails. The room went quiet. Lyra's voice was cool. "We will follow Valerie plans. You follow orders." Ryan shrugged. "Understood, Princess." The meeting ended. Teams went to their ships. Lyra boarded her flagship, a sleek cruiser called Dawnblade. Ryan went back to the Endurance. The joint force left the station and headed into the asteroid belt. Stars disappeared behind big rocks. The nebula clouds glowed blue and purple. Scanners picked up the rogue ships. They were small, fast, and painted black. They fired at a Valerie supply ship. The Dawnblade moved forward in perfect line. Lasers shot out in neat patterns. But the rogues danced between asteroids. They hit the Valerie ships from the sides. One cruiser took heavy damage. Its shield dropped. Ryan, on the Endurance bridge, saw it happen. "Captain, permission to act?" Laura nodded. "Go." Ryan took a small fighter. He flew out fast. Instead of joining the neat fight, he grabbed pieces of broken asteroid with his ship's grapples. He pulled them along like a shield wall. He flew straight at the rogues. They shot at him. The rocks took the hits. Sparks flew. Then Ryan released the rocks at high speed. They crashed into two rogue ships. Both exploded in bright fire. The other rogues pulled back, surprised. On the Dawnblade, Lyra watched the screen. "What is that human doing?" Her officer said, "He used debris as armor. It worked." Lyra stared. The human ship looked small and dirty next to her perfect cruiser, but it had just saved one of her ships. She felt something strange. Not anger, not respect yet. Curiosity. Ryan's fighter came back to the Endurance. He landed roughly, climbed out, and grinned at his team. "Told you, rocks make good shields." Chris laughed. "You're crazy, man." Ryan looked toward the Valerie ships. He saw a figure on the bridge window of the Dawnblade. It was Lyra. She looked back at him. For a moment their eyes met across the distance of space. Lyra turned away first, but she could not forget the human who broke every rule and still won. The mission was not over. More fights would come, but something had started between them. The joint fleet moved deeper into the nebula. Colors swirled around the ships like slow fire. Blue and purple gas made everything look strange. Scanners flickered. It was hard to see far. Princess Lyra sat on the bridge of the Dawnblade. She watched the screens. The plan was ready. Decoy ships would go first. They would look damaged and slow. The real attack force would hide in the gas clouds. Ryan was on the Endurance. He checked his fighter one more time. Tools in pockets, extra oxygen. He felt ready. Captain Laura put a hand on his shoulder. "Don't be a hero today." Ryan grinned. No promises. The decoys moved out. A small Valerie frigate and two human shuttles. They sent weak signals, like they were hurt. The rogues took the bait. 8 raiders came fast from the side. They fired at the decoys. Lyra gave the order. Now. The hidden ships attacked. Lasers cut through the nebula. Explosions lit up the gas like fireworks. Ryan flew his fighter low. He stayed close to asteroids inside the nebula. He shot at raider engines. One raider spun out of control. But the rogues were smart. They split up. Some turned back to hit the main fleet. A big raider ship targeted the Dawnblade. It fired heavy cannons. The cruiser's shield shook. Lyra held her chair. Evasive maneuvers. The ship turned, but the raider was faster. Another shot hit. Lights flickered on the bridge. Ryan saw it. No way. He flew straight at the raider. He fired everything he had. His small lasers did little damage, but they got attention. The raider turned toward him. Ryan dodged between gas pockets. The raider followed. The raider missed. Then Ryan looped around. He flew close to the raider's hull. He dropped a small mine. It stuck. The mine exploded. The raider's engine caught fire. Ryan whooped, "Got you!" But the raider fired one last shot. It hit Ryan's fighter. Warning alarms screamed. Engine failed. Oxygen dropped. Ryan tried to restart. Nothing. He drifted. The nebula pulled him away from the fight. On the Dawnblade, Lyra saw the small fighter spin. The human, Ryan. Her officer said, "His ship is dead. No power." Lyra felt cold. "Send a rescue shuttle, now." A Valori shuttle went out. It found Ryan's fighter. They pulled him in. Ryan was alive, but cold. His suit was damaged. He had low oxygen. They brought him to the Dawnblade's sickbay. Valori doctors worked fast. They gave him warm air and medicine. Lyra came to see him. She stood at the door. Ryan lay on the bed, eyes closed, face pale. A doctor said, "He will wake soon. He is strong." Lyra nodded. She left. Hours later, Ryan opened his eyes. He saw white walls, strange lights. Then he saw Lyra sitting nearby. "You're awake," she said. Ryan tried to sit up. "What happened?" "You saved my ship again." Her voice was quiet. "Your fighter is gone." Ryan smiled weak. "Worth it." Lyra looked at her hands. "Why do you keep risking everything?" "Because I can," he said, "and because people need help sometimes." Lyra stood. She walked to the window. Stars moved outside. "Valori do not do this. We calculate. We plan. We do not throw ourselves into danger for one person." Ryan watched her. "But you sent a shuttle for me." She turned. "That was duty." "Was it?" he asked. Lyra did not answer right away. The battle ended. The rogues were beaten. The fleet returned to Valor Prime. Ryan stayed on the Dawnblade for repairs. His new fighter would take days. Lyra invited him to the palace garden again, this time alone, no guards close. They walked under glowing trees. Night birds sang soft songs. "I want to understand humans," Lyra said. "Tell me about your life." Ryan told her. About Earth, busy cities, quiet farms, friends who helped each other. How people fell in love and sometimes it worked, sometimes not. Lyra listened. On Valor, marriages are arranged, for power, for peace. Love is a story. "Not for humans," Ryan said. "We fight for it. We choose it." Lyra stopped by a small pond. Fish with lights swam inside. "My vow is to never wed, because I saw what happened to my mother. She was forced. She became empty." Ryan nodded. "I'm sorry." Lyra looked at the water. "But you choose your path, even when it hurts." "Yeah," Ryan said. "It makes the good parts better." They sat on a stone bench. Silence was comfortable. Lyra spoke soft. "When your ship was hit, I felt fear. Not for the Empire. For you." Ryan looked at her. "I felt the same, when your ship was in trouble." Their hands were close. Not touching, but close. Lyra stood suddenly. "It is late. You should rest." "Good night, Lyra." She looked surprised. He had used her name, no title. "Good night, Ryan." He left. Lyra stayed by the pond. Her heart beat fast. She had never felt this before. Not calm duty, not cold logic. Something warm, scary, alive. The next days, they worked together more. Ryan helped fix ships. Lyra asked questions about human tools. They laughed sometimes, small jokes. One afternoon, in the engine room of the Dawnblade, Ryan showed her how to bypass a broken circuit. "See? Simple fix. No need for new parts." Lyra tried it. It worked. She smiled. First real smile he saw. "You make hard things easy," she said. "You make me want to try harder," he answered. Their eyes met. Time stopped. Then an officer came in. "Princess, your father calls." Lyra nodded. "I must go." She left, but she looked back once. Ryan felt it too. Something growing, stronger, each day. The Nebula mission was over, but a new mission started, one between them. Neither spoke of it yet, but both knew. Something had changed, and it would not stop. The palace halls were quiet after the Nebula victory. Banners hung high in the Grand Hall. They showed the Valori eagle in gold thread. Everyone talked about the win. The rogue fleet was broken. Trade routes were safe again. But whispers started too. Some nobles said the humans helped too much. They called Ryan's actions reckless, dangerous. Lyra walked through the halls with her head high. She wore her silver crown. Her robe was white today, clean and perfect. But inside she felt different. She thought about Ryan often, his laugh, his quick hands on machines, the way he looked at her like she was just Lyra, not a princess. A messenger came running. "Princess, your father wants you in the war room, urgent." Lyra went fast. The war room had a big round table. Holograms floated above it. Emperor Kale stood there. His face looked hard. Other commanders were with him, all Vylori, no humans. Kale spoke. "The rogues were not alone. They worked for the Zorath Coalition, our old enemies. They planned this to weaken us." A commander added, "They want our worlds, our minds, our power." Lyra asked, "What is their next move?" Kale looked at her. "They sent a message. They invite us to a peace summit, on neutral ground, the station called Harmony Reach. They say they want to talk, but we know it is a trap." Lyra nodded. "We should not go." "We must," Kale said. "If we refuse, they will say we want war. Other empires will turn against us. We go, but with strong guards." Lyra felt cold. "I will lead the delegation." Kale looked worried. "No, too dangerous." "I am heir," she said. "I must show strength." He sighed. "Very well, but take extra security." The humans. They proved useful. Lyra's heart jumped a little. Ryan would come. 2 days later, the delegation left. The Dawnblade carried Lyra and her guards. The Endurance followed close. Ryan was on the bridge with Laura. He looked out at the stars. He felt strange, excited, worried. Harmony Reach was a big silver ring in empty space. No planets nearby, just stars. Ships from many species docked there. Lights blinked everywhere. The summit hall was round. Long table in the middle. Chairs for each side. Zorath delegates waited. They were tall. Skin like dark metal. Eyes red. They smiled with sharp teeth. Lyra entered first. She wore armor under her robe. Light but strong. Ryan and a small human team came behind. They wore simple suits, no fancy armor, but Ryan had a tool belt, just in case. The Zorath leader stood. His name was Vark. "Welcome, Princess Lyra. We come in peace." Lyra sat. "Then speak." Vark talked about old borders, trade, friendship, but his words were empty. Lyra listened. She knew lies when she heard them. Then it happened fast. Lights went out. Gas filled the room. Everyone coughed. Zorath guards pulled out weapons. Lyra stood. Treachery. Guards fought, but Zorath numbers were more. They grabbed Lyra. Strong hands held her arms. She kicked. She fought, but they were too many. Ryan saw it. He ran forward. A Zorath hit him. He fell, but he got up. He grabbed a chair, swung it, hit one guard, then another. Laura pulled him back. "We can't win here." But Ryan broke free. He ran after the Zorath who took Lyra. They dragged her to a side door, into a waiting shuttle. The shuttle doors closed. Engines roared. It flew away fast. Ryan stood in the hall. Smoke everywhere. Friends hurt. Lyra gone. He went back to the Endurance. His face was angry. "They took her," he said. Laura said, "We can't follow. Not alone. It means war." Ryan looked at her. "Then I go alone." "No," Laura said, "but we go together. Small team, quiet." They planned fast. Chris, Megan, Jason, 4 humans, 1 small stealth shuttle. No big guns, just smart moves. Ryan worked all night. He built things. A jammer to hide signals, a drill to cut hulls, grapples to climb ships. They left at dawn station time. The Endurance stayed back, safe distance. The Zorath ship was big, called Iron Fang, black and sharp. It moved toward their home space. Ryan's team flew close, used nebula dust to hide. They matched speed. Ready? Ryan asked. Chris nodded. Let's get her back. They shot grapples, stuck to the Iron Fang hull. Quiet. No alarm. They cut a small hole, slipped inside. Dark corridors, metal walls, cold air. They moved careful, past guards, through vents. They found the prison block. Lyra was in a cell, chains on her wrists. She sat straight, eyes open, not broken. Ryan whispered her name. Lyra looked up. Ryan? He cut the lock with his tool. Door opened. She stood. You came. Of course, he said. Guards heard. They ran in. With spears. Ryan fought first. He dodged. Hit one with a pipe. Chris shot stun darts. Megan used a flash bomb. Bright light. Guards screamed. Jason covered the door. They ran. Lyra beside Ryan. She was fast, strong. Alarms screamed now. Red lights flashed. They reached the hangar, a small escape pod. But Zorath blocked the way. 10 guards. Vark himself. Vark laughed. The human pet comes to die. Ryan stepped forward. Let her go, or we all die here. Vark raised his weapon. Then, Ryan did something crazy. He pulled a small device, the one he built. It sent a pulse. All Zorath weapons shut down. Sparks flew. They dropped. Ryan smiled. EMP, human trick. They ran to the pod, jumped in. The pod shot out, fast, away from the Iron Fang. Behind them, the big ship turned, but too slow. Ryan sat next to Lyra. She looked at him, her eyes soft. You risked everything, she said. You are worth it, he answered. She touched his hand. First time, her skin was warm, soft glow. The pod flew toward the Endurance, safe. But Lyra knew, this changed things. The Empire would be angry. The court would talk. Her vow, her rule, all in danger now. Still, she did not let go of his hand. Ryan looked at the stars. We made it. Lyra whispered, yes, we did. Something new grew between them, stronger than before. But trouble waited on Valor Prime. The small escape pod docked with the Endurance in silence. No cheers, no big welcome, just tired faces and quick hands helping everyone inside. Ryan stepped out first. His jumpsuit was torn, blood on his arm from a cut. Lyra came next. Her robe was dirty, one sleeve ripped, but she walked straight, head high. Captain Laura met them at the airlock. You two look like hell. Ryan gave a weak smile. Felt worse. Laura looked at Lyra. Princess, we have a medical bay ready and a message from your father. He wants you back on Valor Prime, now. Lyra nodded. I will go. Ryan touched her arm lightly. You okay? She looked at him, her violet eyes soft for a second. Thanks to you. They moved to the medical bay. Doctors checked them both. Ryan got stitches. Lyra got a clean robe. Then they sat together in a quiet corner. Just the two of them. Lyra spoke first. The court will not like this. Ryan leaned back against the wall. What part? Me saving you, or you letting a human do it? Both, she said. They already talk. Say humans are wild, uncontrolled, that I am weak for needing help. Ryan looked at the floor. You are not weak. You fought in that cell. You ran with us. You are stronger than they know. Lyra was quiet for a long time. I broke my vow in my heart. When I saw you come through that door, I felt something I never allowed before. Ryan turned to her. You don't have to explain. But I do, she said. To myself, to you. The Endurance flew fast toward Valor Prime. 3 days of travel. In that time, Lyra and Ryan spent hours together, sometimes talking, sometimes just sitting. Ryan showed her more human tools, simple things. How to make coffee from powder. How to fix a small radio with wire and hope. Lyra laughed once. A real laugh. It surprised her. When they arrived, the palace landing pad was full of ships. Big Valori cruisers, small shuttles, guards everywhere in white armor. Emperor Kale waited at the top of the steps. His face was stone. Lyra walked down first. Ryan followed a few steps behind with the human team. Kale spoke loud so all could hear. "Daughter, you return, safe, but at what cost?" Lyra stopped in front of him. "The cost was low. The Zorath failed. We are stronger now." Kale looked past her at Ryan. "Because of them?" "Because we worked together," she said. The Emperor turned. "Come inside. The council waits." The grand hall was packed. Nobles in bright robes, commanders with medals, all eyes on Lyra as she entered. Ryan and his friends stood at the back, quiet. A high noble named Torv spoke first. He was old, voice sharp. "Princess Lyra, your rescue by humans is known. It shames us. Our heir needed outsiders to save her. What does this say about our strength?" Murmurs filled the room. Another noble added, "And the rumors, that she grows close to the human male, that she weakens." Lyra stepped forward. "I grow close to no one without choice, and I am not weak." Torv smiled cold. "Then renew your vow here, before us all. Swear again, never to wed, never to bind yourself. Prove your mind rules your heart." The room waited. Lyra looked around, faces hard, expecting her to obey. She took a deep breath. Whispers turned loud. Kale's eyes went wide. "Lyra, I will not renew it," she said. "My vow was born of fear. Fear of losing myself like my mother did. Fear of chains made by others. But I see now, true strength is choosing, not hiding." Torv laughed. "You choose a human, a rough engineer who fights like an animal?" Ryan stepped forward from the back. Everyone looked at him. He spoke calm. "I fight to protect, not to control. Lyra is not my prize. She is her own person. If she chooses anything, it is her decision. Not yours, not mine." The room went quiet. Lyra looked at Ryan, then back at the council. "I was wrong to think bonds make us weak. Humans show me something else. They choose love. They choose friends. They choose to stand up even when it hurts, and they become stronger for it." She turned to her father. "I will lead this empire, with a clear mind, and if I choose to share that life with someone one day, it will be because I want to, not because politics say so, not because tradition demands it." Torv stood angry. "This is madness. The heir cannot." Kale raised his hand. Silence fell. The Emperor looked at his daughter for a long time. Then he spoke soft. "You have grown, Lyra, more than I knew." He turned to the council. "My daughter speaks truth. The Empire changes. We learn from allies, from humans, from each other. Her choice is her own. As heir, she has earned that right." Torv sat down, angry, but quiet. Lyra felt light, like a weight was gone. Later, in the private garden under the twin moons, Lyra found Ryan. He sat on the same stone bench, looking at the glowing pond. "You spoke well today." He shrugged. "Just said what I think." She looked at the moons. "I am free now, truly free." Ryan nodded. "Good." They sat in silence. Wind moved the leaves. Lyra spoke again. "I do not know what comes next, but I know I want you near, not as a savior, not as a symbol, as Ryan." He turned to her. "I want the same, as Lyra." She reached out. Her fingers touched his. This time they stayed. No kiss, not yet. Just hands together, warm. The Empire would talk for months. Some would accept, some would fight change, but the first step was taken. Lyra looked up at the stars. "I thought never to wed, never to let anyone close." Ryan smiled small. "And I thought I would just fix engines and fly home." She laughed quiet. "Plans change. Yes, he said, they do. The moons watch them, two people from different worlds, finding something real in the middle. The future was not clear, but for the first time, Lyra did not fear it. Months passed after the council meeting. Valor Prime felt different. Not everyone liked the change. Some old nobles still whispered in dark corners. They said the princess had lost her way. They said humans brought chaos. But most people saw something else. They saw strength. They saw new ideas. Trade ships came more often now. Human tools fixed Valori machines faster. Human doctors learned from Valori healers. The empire grew. Lyra walked the palace halls every day. She met with advisors. She planned new laws. She listened to her people. She wore simpler robes now. Less gold, more freedom in the way she moved. Her silver hair was often loose. She smiled more. Ryan stayed on Valor Prime. He had a small workshop near the palace. Not fancy, just a room with tools and lights. He worked on joint projects, a better shield system for ships, a new engine that used less fuel. Valori engineers came to watch him. At first they stood stiff, then they asked questions, then they laughed with him. One evening, Ryan sat outside his workshop. The twin moons were full. The sky was deep purple. He cleaned grease from his hands with a rag. He thought about Earth, about his old life. It felt far away now. Lyra came to find him. She wore a light gray dress. No crown, just herself. She sat on the bench next to him. "You work late," she said. "Old habit," Ryan answered. "Things break. I fix them." She looked at the moons. The council approved the new alliance today. Full trade, shared defense. No more whispers about weakness. Ryan nodded. Good. They sat quiet for a while. Wind moved soft through the garden trees. Lyra spoke again. "I think about my vows sometimes. How sure I was. How afraid I was." Ryan looked at her. "You were protecting yourself. But I do not need that protection anymore." He waited. She turned to face him. "Ryan, I want to ask you something." He put the rag down. "Okay." She took a slow breath. "I want to share my life with you. Not as duty, not as politics. As choice, as us." Ryan's eyes went wide for a second. Then he smiled. Small at first, then bigger. "You mean, marry?" "Yes," she said, "if you wanted to." He laughed quiet. "I never thought I would marry a princess or anyone from another world. But yeah, I want it. I want you." Lyra smiled. Her face glowed soft green in the moonlight. She leaned closer. Their foreheads touched. Gentle. Warm. They stayed like that for a long time. The wedding was planned simple, not a huge show, but everyone wanted to come. The palace gardens were ready, flowers from both worlds, Valori glowing vines, earth roses in red and white, tables with food from both places, sweet cakes, spiced meats, human coffee next to Valori tea. The day came bright, 2 suns in the sky, warm light everywhere. Guests filled the garden, Valori nobles in white and silver, human crew from the Endurance in clean jumpsuits. Captain Laura stood proud. Chris and Megan and Jason smiled big. Emperor Kale waited at the front. He wore his crown, but his face was soft, proud. Lyra walked out first. Her dress was white with silver threads. On the sleeves were small patterns, lines like circuits, like human machines, a gift from Ryan. She wore no heavy jewels, just a thin silver band on her head. Her hair flowed free. Ryan waited at the other end. He wore a simple black suit, no tie, just clean. His hands were clean too. No grease today. He looked nervous, but happy. They met in the middle, under an arch of glowing vines. Kale spoke. His voice carried over the crowd. "Today we join 2 hearts, 2 worlds. Lyra chooses Ryan. Ryan chooses Lyra. Not for power, not for gain, for love." He stepped back. Lyra looked at Ryan. "I thought never to wed. I thought it would take my freedom, but you give me more. You see me, all of me, and you stay. Ryan answered, I thought I would live alone, fix things, fly away. But you make me want to stay. You make me better. I choose you every day. They held hands. A Valori elder tied a thin silver cord around their wrists. A human friend from the Endurance added a small knot of red thread. Old Earth custom. The elder said, bound by choice, stronger together. The crowd cheered, soft at first, then loud. Lyra and Ryan kissed, gentle, real. The moons were rising now, twin lights above them. After, they walked among the guests. People came to wish them well. Some Valori bowed deep. Some humans slapped Ryan on the back, laughed, said he was lucky. Later, when the party grew quiet, Lyra and Ryan went to the high balcony, the same one where Lyra once stood alone, renewed her vow. Now she stood with him. She leaned on the stone rail. Look at the moons. Ryan stood close. Beautiful. She turned to him. I am happy. Me too, he said. They watched the city lights below. Ships moved in the sky. New ships, mixed crews, human and Valori together. Lyra spoke soft. We changed things. Not just us. The Empire. The way people think. Ryan nodded. Humans are stubborn. We keep going, even when it looks impossible. And Valori learned to bend, she said, not break. He took her hand. We make a good team. Yes, she answered. They stayed there until the moons were high. No rush, no fear. The story of the princess who swore never to wed ended that night. But a new story began. One of two people who chose each other, who built something strong, who showed that different worlds could fit together, that hearts could cross stars. And in the quiet of the night, under twin moons, they knew. This was just the start.